competitive pay that reflects their service to protect our community and to keep our county strong. Let me give you a few facts. The City of Houston just approved a 36.5% raise over the next 5 years, and new officers now start at $81,600. The next day, Harris County brought their deputies up to the same pay level. And in Montgomery County, commissioners unanimously passed an annual raise for all law enforcement officers. By 2026, new deputies will make nearly $71,000, and by 2029, about $296. A 16-year deputy will earn $123,000 in 2029 in Montgomery County. Their county judge said it best. These raises were necessary to stop deputies from being lured away from their counties. This message is clear. Surrounding agencies are investing in their law enforcement officers. Here in Fort Bend County, we face that same need. That's why I'm asking commissioners to approve a pay increase for all county law enforcement officers. This is the only way we can remain competitive, retain the skilled deputies we already have, and recruit new deputies we need to serve our rapidly growing county. This is not about dollars and cents alone. This is a matter of community safety. Today, I stand in solidarity with the constables of Fort Bend County precincts at various precincts to speak up for the men and women who dedicate their lives to protect and serve our citizens here in Fort Bend. I'm here also with the members of the Sheriff's Foundation. If the cameras could look behind you, you'll see over 100 more deputies standing behind me. Also here with me is a district judge who I would like for to come up to speak on this matter. Like I said, it's not about money, and we're not asking for parity with HPD or Harris County. We're asking for competitive wages. Their salaries are over $20,000 more than my deputies and the constable deputies are making right now. We just want to be competitive, And now I would like for Judge Becerra to step forward, and also I believe Constable Quincy would like to say a few words afterwards.
Sure. Judge Christian Becerra, 434th District Court. I stand before you also as the administrative judge, but more importantly, a lifelong resident of Fort Bend County. As we continue to grow in Fort Bend County at a rapid rate, again, Fort Bend County is about 65–70% unincorporated area. We have to depend on our brothers in blue at the Sheriff's Office to patrol these areas. And as we continue to grow, not giving them the funds that they need to be competitive is a real issue. It's an issue to the deputies that serve under Sheriff Fagan, but it's also an issue to the citizens of Fort Bend County. I'm here in solidarity with you today, and I'm asking the Commissioner's Court to do the right thing and give them the raises that they need to remain competitive in the police duties here in the state of Texas. Fort Bend County is a proud county. It continues to grow, and we deserve the very best. And the very best is taking care of our deputies under Sheriff Fagan. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to thank everybody who joined into this effort. It's extremely important. I'm Precinct 4 Constable Patrick Quincy, and I'd like to echo the sentiments of our sheriff. We have the best of the best when it comes to law enforcement. I have the privilege of working with these deputies day in and day out, but we have to show them value. You know, we're not asking for parity. We're not asking to make the exact same thing. The only thing we're asking is to be competitive so that we can keep our good deputies that are out here protecting and serving. Fort Bend is too great of a county, and they deserve the best law enforcement that we have to offer. But the only way we can keep those standards in place is if we show our deputies that we do value them. We value the work that they do. So I'm here to stand with my brothers and sisters in law enforcement to say, please do the right thing and make sure our deputies' wages remain competitive so we can keep them in place. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions if anyone has any.
I guess, Sheriff Fagan, when you say competitive wage, what's the dollar amount you're looking for, starting pay?
Well, competitive to me is between $3,000 to $5,000 difference. $3,000 to $5,000 difference. That's what we're asking for, to be competitive. Look, I'm not just here with the officers of Fort Bend County, the constables in my agency, but I have citizens standing beside me as well. Because like I said, it's not about the money, it's about the safety, And you're asking men and women who dedicate their lives to put their lives on the line here in Fort Bend County, that their lives is more important than the ones in Harris County? I don't think so. So all I'm asking for is a competitive rate so we can keep the men and women here. I have individuals who left Harris County to come work at my agency because of the dedication that they see that's happening here with our agency. We're not trying to compete or anything like that. We're just asking to be compensated competitively. Fort Bend County is not the size of Harris County. I understand that. But the same crime that happened there, it comes here to Fort Bend County. And our men and women deserve that competitive raise.
How many deputies short are you right now?
Let me say this. I'm glad you asked that question because when I first became sheriff of Fort Bend County, the men and women of Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office hadn't had a raise in over 12 years until I came up to speak on the issue. When we got that competitive raise at that time, we got a competitive raise. We were over 166 people short, unmanned. When I went to Commissioner's Court and told them why we were so short-handed because of the money, we went back and forth, and they agreed, and they gave us the raise. And now, today, I have 18 positions that are open, from 166 to 18. But something you should know, I worked with Commissioner's Court, gave up 58 positions to get that raise. They told me that those 58 positions were frozen and that when we get the men and women back, we could fill them. Where I have people standing in line for those positions, but I can't fill them now. So we need those positions open. We could be at 100% right now. But like I'm saying, having over a $20,000 difference, we're going to lose individuals. They're going to be lured away to these other agencies if we don't do something.
You started this by saying you wanted to give some facts. Let me give you some. In the 4 years that you've been sheriff, you've had your deputies increase pay by 38%. Last year, their pay was increased by 22%. The average American, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, has their pay increase only about 3.5%. How can you justify that the average American is getting about a 4% raise, yet your deputies are getting about a 10% raise, and yet here you are again today asking for more money?
How can I do that? Let me ask you this. Those individuals that work in the civilian areas of work and they go home to their homes, do they want to go home safely? Do they come out late at night when the gunshots are out? Do they go away from it, or is it my men and women that do it? When the fire takes place, are they running into that fire, or is the men and women of the fire department running into that? When their family members are lost or murdered and they're looking for justice, who is doing that work? It's the men and women in law enforcement. I'm not saying that we're better, but we're putting our lives on the line. What's more important? What's the first duty of any government official? It's the protection of the men and women. So I'm not asking for the public not to give the other individuals raises. If they want to give them, that's fine. But the men and women that risk their lives, how much would you say they deserve? 4%, 10%? How much is your life worth?
You got a raise last year going from $165,000 to $200,000. In Harris County, after they approved raises for deputies, constables, the sheriff went back to Commissioner's Court they want raises too. Are you going to be asking for a raise as well, Sheriff?
Right now, I'm standing for the men and women of my agency. From my command staff down, it has to be commendable. From me on down, the raises have to be competitive. I'm an elected official. My raise comes from the Commissioner's Court. I'm here to represent my men and women of the Sheriff's Office. If they give them a raise and don't give me one, I won't be crying about it. I'm fine. But I don't want to see my men and women disrespected. Well, let me take that back, not disrespected, to be looked over here in Fort Bend County. If Harris County, Montgomery County, Houston City Council see the need to raise the salaries for law enforcement officers, to bring more on, to keep them employed at their agencies, why can't we see the same thing here happening in Fort Bend County?
Does anyone else have any questions?
Sheriff, does the deputy shortage have anything to do with those dozens and dozens of brand-new vehicles parked in the parking garage over there? They're patrol vehicles, they still have the stickers on them. Some of those stickers are from last year.
Yeah, and those dozen vehicles you see don't all belong to the sheriff's office. That's been a misnomer for a while. They say, y'all have all these cars over there. They are not our cars. Those for every agency here in Fort Bend County. But like I said, what's more important, the vehicle or manpower inside that vehicle? Any other questions? Yes.
Do you have a dollar amount, how much the raise would increase? Like how much your budget would go up if the deputies were to receive this amount?
I'm gonna leave that up to the commissioners. What I'm asking for and what we all are asking for is a competitive wage. We want to be competitive.
Sheriff, when will you go to court, Commissioner's Court, and ask this? When will you go demand this?
I was at Commissioner's Court maybe 2 sessions ago, bringing up SB 9, that bill SB 9, and I talked about raises then. So it's something that is ongoing. When that raise in Harris County happened, I had men and women at my agency asking about that. What are we going to do? What are we going to do here? So I was elected as sheriff to protect the citizens of Fort Bend County and to watch over the men and women here. I have more bosses now than I ever had before because I feel like I work for these men and women. When they have a problem, they come to me. And I have to answer that. I have to answer that. And I'm answering their requests right now.
We'll take 2 more questions.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that Fort Bend County went 12 years without a raise. In your opinion, do you think the public sector went 12 years without a raise during this time when inflation was going up and things like that?
Within those 12, before I became sheriff, the public sector was making more money. A person at Bucky was making more money than the deputy that started here at the sheriff's office. So yes, I do believe they were getting raises, and this sheriff's office wasn't. I can't speak on the past sheriffs and things like that. I know what happened when I got here, that they hadn't had a raise in over 12 years, and that's not right. We can't go backwards. I got that competitive raise for them. Yes, we did, but things move forward. We're growing exponentially, one of the fastest growing counties in the nation, Fort Bend County. My jail, when I first got here, was averaging 500 inmates. I'm over 800 now, over 800.
When you started here, what was the discrepancy between your officers and the others, and what was the turnover rate, and is that improving?
Well, the turnover rate has improved a lot since I've got the raise. Like I said, I have men and women that we have over in HR that wants to come on right now, but I don't have the positions to open them, to let them on. So I'm asking them to release those positions so we can have it. But what we're concerned with today, what this is all about today, the constables, the citizens that's standing with me, we don't want to lose the men and women that we have now being lured away to other agencies because of the compensation. The gap is just too wide. Only thing we're asking for them is to close that gap. to close the gap. Like Constable Quincy said, we're not asking for parity. We're asking to be competitive. That's all we're asking for, to be competitive. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, I appreciate it. If no other questions, that would be it.